If you are a real estate agent and you are tired of cold calling, door knocking, paying for ads that flat out don't work, or just tired of not knowing how to generate leads, then this is the channel for you. We are four rockstar agents who have come together to help fellow agents achieve financial freedom as well as location and time freedom. My name is Andy Hollis, along with my partners Aileen Fountain, David Doran, and Tim Hollenden. Together, we have over 50 plus years experience and knowledge in the real estate and sales and training industry, and we are hoping to pass that knowledge on to you. So let's get started. Just to tell you a quick story on me, I've been in sales for over 30 years. Most of that time was in the car business. And then I got into real estate because Aileen Fountain told me that she thought I would be phenomenal at real estate. And so long story short, I got into real estate, but real estate was not what I thought it was going to be. Basically, to me, it was chasing after people and chasing after people and chasing after people. And I hated it. I hated every bit of it because it wasn't quite like the car business. You know, in the car business, people come to you, do an advertisement, they come on the car lot, they're there to buy a car, they're not there to buy shoes. And then, basically they buy a car and then it's done. So, with real estate, it was so different because I was going like the traditional agents. I mean, show of hands, who has bought leads on realtor.com or Zillow or, any of that stuff? And listen, every single time it works out the same way, or at least it was for me. It was, you sit here and you pay $1,500 a month. You're steady chasing these people. When you finally do get them on the call, they didn't really want you to call. They hit the button by accident. And so anyway, long story short, I got tired of that. And I said, I'm done. I'm quitting real estate. So I said, this is not for me. I'm going to get back in the car business. Well, Aileen talked me into going to an event in Texas where I saw this guy talking about YouTube, the power of YouTube. And basically just saying that, customers actually come to you. You attract the customer to you. You don't actually have to chase them. And I thought, wow, this is really something I want to dig into and do. So with the help of Tim, actually, and Aileen and I kind of dove into it. I dove into it head first into the back end of it and tried to learn every single thing I could because a lot of people want to get into it, but they don't want to learn how everything works. I wanted to learn how everything worked. So I dove into it over the next 2 years. I power learned every single thing I could learn about YouTube. I wanted to figure out all the back end stuff, the SEO stuff, all the boring stuff. I wanted to figure all that stuff out. So anyway, together with Aileen, we built out a channel. And so what we've been able to do is we built out a pretty successful YouTube channel over the last 2 years. But you may ask yourself, why YouTube? Well, YouTube offers a platform where you can actually build a personal brand. It's not like Facebook where you go out and buy ads. And then it's not a social media platform. It's actually a search engine. So people go to YouTube to search for things, like, I don't know about any of you, but if you've ever tried to replace an alternator or something on your car, if you want to do it yourself, first thing you do is you go into YouTube to see if there's a video about it, which is basically what I figured. Well, it's got to be the same concept, as far as real estate's concerned. And then, so I figured, well, people are going to be searching for, what can I buy? This type of thing. So you don't want to think like a realtor. We had to get our mindset of not thinking like a realtor. We had to start thinking like a marketer, and if you've ever been on any of these programs, you'll see like Nick Krim on his training. He says the best realtor doesn't win. It's the best marketer that wins. And 100%, he's right. So if you figure out how to get your message out there for people to search you, and that was the other thing is, if you go buying realtor.com or Zillow leads, then that's what you're getting somebody who clicked on an ad or clicked on a property, and that's all you're getting is you're showcasing that one person. Tim, am I supposed to be letting these people in, or are you doing it? Doesn't matter. Okay.
Okay. So, but anyway, uh, YouTube does require an investment, which is your time. It's the money that we have spent on YouTube has been minuscule. I mean, hardly spent any money at all on it. And the only reason I say we've spent some money is because we have gone out and bought cameras, which is really not necessary. But we've also bought, microphones, things of that nature. So the money that we've spent to start the YouTube channel has been absolutely minuscule, very little money at all. Um, the other thing is just to show you a little bit of a comparison between the two, YouTube and Realtor.com and Zillow. Um, YouTube, again, as far as a lead generation platform, you have the potential to attract leads through engaging content. You put the content out there, people search for that content, or YouTube takes it and puts it in front of them, and then they pick up the phone and call you. As far as Realtor.com and Zillow, it just depends on how much money you put into it. You can buy a market, but it's expensive to buy a market. The conversion rate that we have found is about 45% conversion rate. So in other words, when somebody calls us, it's about 45% of those people turn into clients. As far as Realtor.com and Zillow, what is it? It's like 1%, maybe 1% to 5%, somewhere in that neighborhood. So, you really have to spend a lot of money and generate a lot of leads in order to get those to convert to customers. And again, with the cost, I mean, there's virtually no cost at all for the YouTube product. It's just a matter of your time. Realtor.com and Zillow, of course, you all know you've done it before. You know the cost there. You could spend as much as you want to spend on those leads. And I keep trying to, I don't know why. So anyway, we wanted to create a lead system where the clients called us. So let's just take a look at some numbers. I don't want to bore you with a bunch of facts. But we did in the month of December, we just took 30 days and we figured we would try to compare the two. So we spent money on ads. So we spent about $1,500 in the month of December. We got 43,623 impressions from that money. We got 197 leads from those impressions, and we sold absolutely nothing. So that means we were negative $1,504 in the red. Now, out of that 197 leads, how many of them do you think were actually good? I mean, it's not that many. So as far as the YouTube is concerned, we didn't spend any money. We put out one video a week is all we're doing, is one video a week. We got 84,000 impressions. We got 4 leads from those impressions, and we sold one of them at an $8,200 commission. And we spent no money whatsoever, none. This is what we've done in 2 years on our YouTube channel. And just right at 2, it's a little under 2 years, but I just rounded it up. So for 2 years, we've been able to obtain 4 million impressions and over 330,000 views from those impressions. And that's just from one of the channels. We have actually 3 YouTube channels. So this is just from one of them, which is our real estate channel. And just to go back and show you what those numbers actually mean, think about this. We spent $1,500 to get 43,000 impressions. Think what we would have spent to get 4 million impressions. I mean, the money is just astronomical when it comes to the other platforms. So here's another breakdown of some numbers that are kind of boring, but it does mean a lot. Our channel so far has been watched 18,797 hours. If you divide that by 8 working hours in a day and 240 working days in a year, that means that our channel has sat here and prospected for us 9.79 years, almost 10 years in a matter of 2 years. So it's prospected 10 years in a matter of 2 years. So basically what you do is you just multiply yourself. You take yourself and put yourself out there for every video, however many views it got. Even if that video, say it only gets 100 views, well, that just means that 100 people have watched it rather than you picking up the phone and calling 100 people and talking to them personally. So here are the numbers everybody wants to see. We've got, so far, we've been able to put 2 listing agents together, which is basically me and Aileen. we've got 2 buyer's agents, and we've got 1 transaction coordinator. We've had a total sales in 2 years of $44 million. Geez, that turns into 1.1 million in GCI with approximately 75 million in the pipeline. And we haven't spent a dime on ads, nothing. So here's the $1 million question. Can you do this? Is this for you? Then, absolutely the answer is yes. That's what we've created, is a system that literally anybody can do it. What I did was, over the last 2 years, I've dove into probably 3 or 4 different training styles of people. We've gone out and bought the programs, and then I've gone through them and dug out the parts that I did like and the parts I didn't like. And I basically, the old saying is don't reinvent the wheel. I did not want to recreate their system, word for word, but I also didn't want to leave out the good parts. So we've made this just simple, so simple a 10-year-old could do it. I mean, it literally is that simple. Here's what we've created. You've got in the first part of it, it's basically an 8-part series within the training itself. The first part is why YouTube. It's just a brief introduction of why YouTube works, and what's so good about it. The second part of that is we teach you the channel build out. We give you every tool that you'll need in order to build out a successful YouTube channel. In the third part, we show you exactly what videos to shoot and how to properly research for those videos. So a lot of people think, and I was one of those people, I was guilty of it as well as a real estate agent, where you say, well, I got a new listing. I'll just go out and film my new listing and then tell everybody all about it, and everybody's going to love it, and they're going to call me, and it's going to live, just all unicorns and rainbows. And that ain't how it works. That ain't even close to how it works. You could make a really good video that nobody ever sees. So we teach you how to get that video seen. We also show you in the fourth part, we show you the flow of the video. We give you templates, exact scripts, what to say, because YouTube has their algorithm. So to give you a good example, so if you're a brand new channel that just got started and you're wanting to get discovered on YouTube, and you're wanting people to see it and call you for the real estate needs. Well, the problem is that nobody knows who you are. And your name is not, it really doesn't, to be quite honest with you, it doesn't mean anything. I'm not so vain that I think that somebody sitting in Michigan is going to type in and say, what does Andy Hollis have to sell for in real estate in Orange Beach, Alabama? They're not doing that. So what they're doing is they're looking for properties that they can buy at a certain price range. And that's why the script is so important in the beginning, is because you're a brand new channel, nobody knows who you are. And so if you put the wording right, just right for YouTube's algorithm to pick it up so they'll know what that video is about, then they'll be able to put it in front of the right people, and those right people will be the ones to reach out to you for their real estate needs. And that's what we teach you, is exactly how to do that. The fifth part is making the videos. We give you step-by-step instructions as well as copy and paste verbiage for each and every video. We show you exactly what to put in the videos. We show you how to do neighborhood vlog tours, how to do pros and cons videos, how to do, you name it. We show you every single video of how to do them to get them out there. This is one of the parts that I wanted to put in. The sixth part was editing the videos, because nobody really shows you anything about editing, because they say that it's a waste of your time. You need to hire that out. I wanted to learn it. And the reason I wanted to learn it is because if I ever do decide to hire it out, I wanted to be able to tell somebody what I wanted in each one of those videos, and for them to look at me and go, oh, well, you can't do that. Then, well, I know you can, because I've done it. And so that's the reason I wanted to learn it. So we don't go in the training, we don't dive down the rabbit hole and really teach you all the ins and outs of professional editing, because quite frankly, I'm not a professional editor. I'm still a real estate agent. So, but we do teach you the basics. Then in part 7 is SEO. We give you copy and paste chat GPT prompts that are proven, they work. So and also the defaults for your channel, how to set the channel up so you don't have to keep putting in the same thing every single time. There are certain defaults that goes in it, and there are certain keywords and key tags that make your videos discoverable, make your channel discoverable. It makes your pictures discoverable. Everything about it, it makes it searchable on Google so that you can be found. And then the eighth part is tracking the sale. You really don't know what you got until you can look back on it and say, okay, well, this is how many videos it took us to get a phone call. This is how many phone calls it took us to get a sale, and this is, so on and so forth. So you got to be able to track. You don't know where you're going if you can't tell where you've been. So you've got to know how to track those sales. So we show you free systems. The systems are absolutely free that you can use to track your sales. We use a system called Trello, and Trello is very, very easy to use, and you can absolutely, put cards in and keep up with that customer and move them down the line, as far as when you've contacted them and so on and so forth. You can add team members to it. It's just an incredible system. And we also use KV Core, which, KV Core, if you're an EXP agent, you get KV Core. So that's one of the reasons we use it, is because why go out and pay for something else when you got a Cadillac sitting in the driveway? We've also got a lot more bonus materials we're going to teach you within the program. So that's just that just touches on everything that we offer within the program itself. And then we do understand that your YouTube channel may take a bit to start producing sales. Let me tell you our story on that. Now, we started the YouTube channel, and it took us about 4 months before we got the first phone call. And it took us about 7 months before we made the first sale. But before you get discouraged on that, you have to remember, I was trying to learn YouTube. So I was doing, not only was I trying to make the YouTube channel grow, but I was also trying to learn all the things that I was doing wrong. So all the stuff that I did wrong, I've eliminated. And then so we filled this training with all the stuff that we did right. So I really feel like if somebody started this program and went through it step by step by step, that you'd have a lot quicker success than 7 months. And it also depends on your market size. We're in a really small market. Aileen and I live full-time here at the beach in Orange Beach, and we have about 15,000 permanent residents that live here, and that's it. We're a vacation spot. So we have to cater to a different audience. We have to look for investors who are looking to buy a property here but not live here, and they want to make a return on their investment. So it's rental properties is basically what we're trying to sell. So that's a whole different mindset of a customer than somebody who's wanting to relocate to this area for a job. So if you lived in an area like Dallas, Texas, or maybe Atlanta, Georgia, or Houston or somewhere like that, that's a much bigger market, I really feel like following this program step by step, you would grow exponentially faster than 7 months. But the great thing is we've done all the heavy lifting for you. We've gone through and figured out what works and what don't work. And we just didn't put anything that didn't work in the training. So the training program is ever evolving. We're always getting new stuff in. And as soon as we learn something new, so will you. So, we're not just, in other words, we're not just selling the program and then we're forgetting about you. We're just selling it to you and then we're going, figure it out. It's not going to work that way. So here's a recap of everything that you get. And Jeff, I wanted to do this really fast so that I didn't turn this into a sales pitch, because I do have some training to go along with it. Tim and I talked about it this morning. But here's the recap of everything you'll get. You get the magnetic marketing YouTube made simple. We're going to do weekly coaching calls, access to a Facebook community, access to one-on-one coaching for your success whenever you do buy the program, and access to other agents in the community. So you can learn from other agents as you go along. So you're probably wondering what does all this cost? And with everything that I've shown you today, you're probably thinking, well, this may be 25 grand. Well, it's not. Maybe 15 grand. It's not. Maybe 10. It's not. We're selling the whole thing for $5,900.
It's great stuff, because I've seen those programs out there that are 25,000. There's a lot of people. I did one a couple years ago. It was 19. There's a lot of There's a lot of different things out there. I love what you've done, taking all this stuff and put it together and made it manageable. You know, I do think people would have quicker success with it just because of what you learned. The learning curve is going to be cut into a fraction of the time, you know?
Well,
So
and one thing that I want to say as far as the one of the beauties of it that we can't even quantify at this moment in time is that you build this momentum and it starts to build, and then it compounds and it starts compounding faster and faster the longer that you've been at it. So, what we've done in 2 years, I mean, it's not necessarily year over year. I mean, we may blow through all this data 2 years from now, and it may be double, triple what it is. So that's kind of the beauty. Once you build it and you get it going, the sky's the limit with it. So it's not like, when you're buying leads, and Andy and Tim and I have all been on that cycle, you forever stay in the hamster wheel of buying leads, buying leads, buying leads. The second you quit buying leads, the hamster wheel stops. With this, it just grows and grows and grows and gets better and better and better as time goes on. So we can't quantify what that's going to be in the future, but we know based on what we've seen in the last 2 years that it's going to grow exponentially. And that's kind of an untold beauty of it that shouldn't be lost on this.
for sure.
Yeah,
Brett,
and
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Andy. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say one thing, and a couple of things too that I've added in that I learned along the way that I did not know when I was taking these other courses was the fact that there are ways to exponentially grow your channel outside of YouTube itself. Like there's a community tab within YouTube that you can use like a Facebook page that you can engage your community. So once you build an audience, you can let them know what's going on in the area. You can reference different videos. You can put your listing of the week, that kind of thing. I do a weekly newsletter, and I incorporate all the stuff within the channel on that weekly newsletter. So I'll showcase a video for the week showing, there may be something that just happened, like a Christmas event or whatever. And I might put that in the newsletter, but then I'll also feature the listing. Like if we got a new listing, I'll feature that listing for that week. Then I'll also use, of course, AI and tell exactly what's going on that week as a blog post within there. I also use Google Maps. That was one part of the training is that I told Tim I was going to talk about this morning was Google Maps. I use Google Maps as my Facebook, so like, I'll give you an example. So like if most of you, and everybody's guilty of it, especially as a real estate agent, when you go to eat at one of your favorite restaurants, as soon as you go eat there, you're taking pictures of your food, you're checking yourself in, and then you take a picture, a selfie, oh, the food's fantastic here. You need to check it out, blah, 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 blah. Well, how many times has anybody ever gone back through somebody's Facebook post and gone 2 years back and looked at their Facebook post from 2 years ago? You don't. I mean, so once you post that Facebook post, it's gone. But what I do is I've made myself in Google Maps, you create, your business profile. Then you go into Google Maps every time you go to some place to eat or what have you. And then I take pictures of the food. I tag that place that I'm there. I give it a 5-star review. I write a few sentences about it. But then if I have a video of that restaurant on my YouTube page, I attach a link to my video within that post, so that whoever comes along and they look at that post and they go, I wonder if this place has any good reviews. Well, here's Andy. He's a local expert. What is this? He's got a video on it. They click on the video. Next thing you know, they've subscribed to it, subscribed to your channel. They've watched the video. They go down the rabbit hole and start watching all your videos. And then the next time they think about a realtor, guess who they're going to call? They're going to call you. So that's one way that we utilize Google Maps to attach to our YouTube channel. So, it's just a good rule of thumb that you're not just posted on Facebook.
That's awesome. Brett, what's your question?
Yeah, Andy, I was wondering if you could throw up your little screenshot of the different components that you provide in your training. There, I had a couple questions about two of those.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay.
on the flow of the video, what do you offer? What exactly are you offering there?
So we teach you exactly, there is a certain flow of the video. So in other words, what we have at the start of the video, you'll have an intro. So you come in and you tell within the first 30 seconds of what a video is about. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but YouTube has their analytics, what they pick up on now, it changes from time to time. But the biggest thing they pick up on now is what percentage of your audience is actually still watching your video after 30 seconds. That is their biggest metric. So the biggest thing is to get people engaged at the first of the video and give them a reason to watch it all the way to the end. So we start out our videos the same way every single time, every single solitary time, no matter where you are. So if I'm filming, say, in Daphne, Alabama, then I'm going to start that video saying, so you're thinking about buying a house in Fairhope, Alabama, or Daphne, Alabama, wherever. And then I say, well, today in this video, we're going to talk about Bloom. And then you just say what you're going to talk about. And then we do a small little intro. Then we ask them to subscribe right at the first of the channel. We say, and we don't say, will you please subscribe to the channel? There's a certain way to say it. So we say, if you want to learn everything there is to learn about what it's like to move here, live here, vacation here, whatever you're going to say in that verbiage, then subscribe to the channel and you will get, we do videos just like this every week just to be informative, just to let you know what it's like to actually live here. So we don't come off as sales pitchy. We never tell them we're here to sell you real estate, ever. So, it's always the same. So there is a certain flow. So we have the intro, you tell them, what the video is going to be about. Then you do a small little, please subscribe to the channel if you want to learn everything. Then we do the body of the video itself, give them the meat. And at the end, we ask them to subscribe again. And then we have basically an exit where we tell them to make sure they watch some of our other videos. And then at the end of that, we may give them another video to watch. Say, if you're interested in this video, check out the next video so that they know that they can click through, because YouTube has a matrix on their click-through rate, which is pretty important too.
Okay. And then on the editing, is there software that you have to buy to be able to do that, or?
Now there is software you can buy, but now there's so much out there for free. If you're an Apple user, iMovie comes on a Mac automatically for free. And iMovie is probably one of the best editors out there. I mean, it's so simple to use, and again, it's free. There's also free versions of CapCut. There's free versions of Filmora. There's free versions of, there's so many out there. There's Veed, there's Descript, there's there's so many different ones. But what I do in this one is just basically showing you the free version of iMovie and just how to quickly cut it up, because let's face it, the editing part of it, that's the boring part. That's what nobody likes that. And we do tell you within the training, if you wanted to hire that out, it's don't be embarrassed to hire it out. If you want to hire that out, you can hire it out on a web. There's a site out there called Fiverr, Fiverr.
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, and
sure.
you can find video editors that'll edit your video for like $75 a piece. We can also, we have Tim actually has a connection with a guy that has done some editing for us in the past, and then we're trying to work out a deal with him now where we can hopefully offer it at a much discounted price. As far as the editing part of it goes.
No, that would be cool to have a community price for that kind of editing. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sean Corbett, did you want to unmute yourself? You said you have a couple questions I saw in the chat.
Yeah. Thank you, Andy and Eileen, for coming on and discussing YouTube. It's it's definitely an opportunity many of us do not take advantage of because it is a really good platform to build. And doing it right makes a big difference. I've created over 200 videos, but I have no subscriber base. And I realize that the SEO and some of the other components of it are not built into what I'm doing. I don't use it for a cold lead opportunity. In general, I don't do any cold leads. I don't even pay for leads. I only work sphere of influence, and I wanted to use it for credibility. So I guess really I'll keep it simple. My question is, there's a lot of things within your training that I don't need help with, but I definitely have some things specifically that I would need help. Do you offer some type of consulting type opportunities for where I want to go from, I think I only have like 100 subscribers to, a couple of thousand just for credibility. Do you have programs or things like that we can talk offline about, or are you trying to really stick pretty tight to your package?
No, yeah, we're trying to stick to the package, but listen, there's, if you don't adapt and overcome, you're not going to grow, So I think maybe reach out to Tim on that, and that would be something we would discuss with you personally that maybe we could help out with. The biggest thing is just have a conversation off, away from this and see if we can actually help. So it may be a situation where we're like, we really can't help you with that. But then again, it could be. So,
Yeah.
but
All
we're
right,
willing
thank
to
you.
have the conversation if you are.
Oh, 100%. I need to. I think the hard part is coming up with content, but now it needs to be repurposed, for SEO purposes or whatever your actual target market is. You've got to really be intentional. And then I don't have any of the words. I don't have any of the intros. I don't have any, what do you call them? Hashtags. I have nothing built into it. I just created content. I use YouTube for my storage place for my videos.
Yeah.
So, that's just because I knew I could come up with a lot of content, but now I need to start making use of it, monetizing it. Okay,
Okay.
so you've got, I think, a couple thousand, I think, in your YouTube. Does that monetize, or you're not really looking for monetize for that? You're just trying to get conversions on clients. Is that really your main objective?
That's our main objective. We really don't get into the whole vanity matrix of it. I really don't care how many subscribers we got. Now, on the flip side of that, the more subscribers you got, we're not stupid. The more subscribers you got, the more people you got watching your channel, the more people that are going to call you. That's the way it works. But our biggest thing was trying to figure out a way to make ourselves searchable and make where people, again, the whole goal is if somebody goes in and types in Google and does a search and says, what can I buy on the beach in Orange Beach, Alabama for 700 grand? We want one of our videos to pop up, for them to go, oh, here's a video. Let me check that out. Well, then they start looking at it. They'll call us, and we've had this happen. I'm telling you more times than I can tell you, where we've had somebody call and say, hey, I watched your video on this certain neighborhood, but that's not the neighborhood for me. But I feel like you guys could help me because I like the way, I liked you. I like the way you talk. Is there any way we can, and they'll jump in your calendar, they'll schedule a call with you or whatever. And I mean, it's such a different lead than what you get from like Zillow and realtor.com. Because like I said, when you call those people, 90% of the time, first off, if you don't call them in the first 5 minutes, they're gone. They're gone to another realtor. But if you do call them, then they ask you for 900. If you do get a hold of them, you either get, well, I didn't mean to hit the button. I didn't want anybody to call me. I didn't want to be bothered. You get that, or you get, yeah. And they start asking you 900 questions. You answer everything they do. And then 2 weeks later, you call them back and they go, yeah, we bought that condo. My cousin's brother's uncle's aunt is a realtor down there, so we decided to use them. But thank you for the help. We appreciate the help. But with these YouTube clients, you literally get, here's the lead you get. You pick up the phone and say, hey, this is Andy. And they say, is this the YouTube guy? And I go, yeah, it is the YouTube guy. And they go, oh my God, we've been watching your videos now for a year, and we finally decided to make the move. We saw such and such video or whatever, or they'll call you with the exact property. Aileen, how many times has this happened? The exact property they want to buy. We looked at 123 Main Street. We've already looked at it on Zillow, and we want you to be the one to sell it to us. And you go, oh, okay, great. We've never done a video at 123 Main Street, but perfect. We'll sell it to you. And that's just the way it happens. We just recently had our first or our second listing phone call where somebody called us up and said, I've been watching your guys' videos and we absolutely love it. We want to list our condo for sale and we think you're the one, and I mean, how easy is that listing appointment to go on? Aileen went and she was like, these people love us and we've never met them.
That's the movie star effect. That's the beauty of this is all those leads that come in off of YouTube, they've watched your content over and over and over and over. They already know you. You don't know them yet, but they know you. So those calls that come in are warm. They're like, I'm ready to go look at a property. Or like Andy said, now they're getting seller leads from it too. So I want to make sure and emphasize that. Andy, Courtney Blaylock asked a question and you've answered part of it. While operating day to day, do you have someone film the content for YouTube and socials and edit it for you? No, they're filming all their own content and Andy's doing primarily most of the or all of the editing. She said, this is where I'm struggling, finding time to get it all done. So could you just touch on what your week looks like? What days you film, when you edit, when you post, just touch on that briefly, if you would, please. And then we'll go to the next question.
Yeah, it's changed over time. Now, the way we do it now is not the same way we did it when we first started. So I'll tell you both ways. When we first started, Aileen and I were kind of splitting off the duties. It was just she and I. We didn't have any buyer's agents. So basically what we were doing was, if Aileen was going to a restaurant, she would call me and say, hey, I'm going to such and such restaurant today at lunch. I'm going to go ahead and film that and then I'll send it to you. And I'm like, okay, great. Well, I'm going to blah, blah, blah. I'm going to show property, 3 different properties in this one neighborhood. I'm going to go ahead and film that neighborhood while I was there. So I would go to a listing or to a showing appointment and I might show up 30 minutes to an hour early and I'll do the video of that entire neighborhood while I'm there showing those customers the property. Then after they're done, then I'll make sure I'll go back through and watch it, make sure it recorded right and all that. But then when I got home, then, listen, these were long days to start with, but then when I got home, I would sit down and edit them and get it set up and, do all my stuff to it. Now it's a little different because I have kind of transitioned away from real estate to where I just mainly do the YouTube stuff. Aileen's handling the whole real estate side of it, and I'm handling the entire YouTube side of it. She still makes videos. So don't get me wrong on that. She still goes out and films the videos and all that kind of good stuff, sends them to me. I edit them, put them up on the channel, so on and so forth. But I still answer the phone. If somebody calls, I still answer the phone. I want to be the initial one to contact them, either me or Aileen one. And so that we can vet them and see if they're actually real, if they're actually somebody that we want to talk to, or just move on to the next one. So to answer your question, the way that we've done it now is, I don't know, Aileen, maybe you could help answer this, but it's we just film while we're out doing other stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was going to elaborate on that because I'm like most of you guys. I'm a super busy real estate agent, running and gunning, selling full time. So you do have to be very intentional about it. But once you get into a groove with it, first of all, Andy and I typically carve out Fridays as our times to either film or meet in person. Sometimes we film together, but then we film every listing we get. We film, you're going out to eat anyway, right? You might as well just get there a little early, do your intro, film the restaurant, take pictures of your food, film an outro. So does it take extra time? Yes, but you're there anyway. So carve out the extra 30 minutes and film everything. Filming your listings. I mean, you're going to want to, that's such a huge asset anyway, that you can tell your seller, hey, I have a YouTube channel. You're going to get extra exposure on it. I'm going to do this awesome video for it. Like that's something that sets you apart from the listing side. So, and then as far as like Andy said, you're going to be showing your buyers anyway. So that first property, we might get there a little bit early. film it, film the neighborhood, then boom, you've got content there. Then on your last property, you show them, you may stay a little later, the client leaves, you film it, film the area. Boom, there you have 2 videos from something that you were going to be doing anyway. Did it take an extra hour of your time? Yes, it did. But you were going to be there anyway. But aside from that, if you don't have anything that week that fits into that category, then I always carve out Friday. That's just the day I do. It can be any day of the week, but I take a look at my calendar and I'm like, okay, this hour, 2 hour block on Friday, I'm going to go film this and this. And I try and do 2, sometimes 3 videos at a time so that we build up enough content so you're not constantly chasing your tail.
Cheryl Johnson have one here, Andy. Is it best to start a new channel for real estate? I have one that's a mix of various things. I think I know the answer to that, but what would you say with that?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I mean, now you don't necessarily have to start a new channel. And then Tim, stop me if I'm speaking out of turn, but Tim had a channel, and I took Tim's channel and just revamped it. And I turned it into, basically there was other stuff on there that didn't need to be there. There were some little short videos about, some other stuff that didn't relate to real estate, and I took all that off. I just deleted those videos, made everything about real estate in Louisville, Kentucky. I made everything so basically what you're wanting is it's kind of like if you're pulling a wagon, you want to make sure that all the horses are aimed in the same direction. You don't want one going off here, going off there. If you've got a real estate channel and then you put a video on how to bake a carrot cake, then YouTube doesn't know what your channel's about, and they're not going to know who to put that video in front of. So there's 2 different ways YouTube works. It works as a search engine, so people can go in and actually, Google, what can I buy in Orange Beach for 500 grand? That video is going to pop up. But then it also works as a placement engine. So what Google does is Google owns YouTube. So what they do is when you first put a video out, they take a block of customers and they take your video and put it in front of them. It might be, I don't know, it might be 5,000 people, but they'll put that video in front of them and they'll see just how many people click on it. And then they compare it to what other videos that person's been watching. So then they see how long they watched that video. So if they only watched that video for, say, 20 seconds and then they clicked off of it, they're gone. Well, then that kills that video. It's if the majority of the people do that. So they're no longer going to put that video in front of people. It's only going to show up when people search for it. So that the key to it is to make it so interesting in the first 30 seconds that they watch it past that 30-second mark. That's what the whole key to it is. And we usually give them a reason to stick around to the end. We might say, I got a really big surprise for you at the end of this video. You will not want to miss it. So stick around and watch the whole video, basically. And then at the end of it, we do just as we promised. We give them the big surprise. You don't want to tell them you're going to do something and then not do it. Because the very first time you lie in a video and you don't do something you said you were going to do, you could kiss your channel goodbye. I mean, that's just the harshness of it, but it's the truth.
Yeah, definitely. I do like carrot cake, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
Toy,
But I don't know how to bake one.
Exactly. Toy asked this: short form versus long form, which is best? Pros and cons. Any thoughts?
We don't do short form videos, and the reason why is because that's a whole different clientele. We want the person. Listen, I've been on all the agent attraction trainings where you say the same thing, where you say you're only looking for the person that's looking for you. And that's the truth. That's the truth here. So you're only really looking for the person that's looking for you. I don't want the guy with the short attention span who's swiping every 20 seconds, who's swiping, who's just looking for some crazy video for him to watch. I want the guy or gal or whoever that is searching for property to buy in Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, Foley, Daphne, wherever, that is looking to stay on the channel, and they're engaged. They stay the whole time because they're sitting there thinking, I got to get to know this person because I want to buy real estate from this person. that's the ones we want. So we used to do short form videos on our channel, and then I just felt like it wasn't the right direction. So I deleted them all. I deleted, and Tim will tell you, Tim and Aileen both will tell you, I sweated that day. I mean, like it was really, I thought I was going to have to see a therapist. I mean, because I told him I've debated on this for a month. I'm ready to hit the button. I deleted 172 videos. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, when I hit this button, they're gone. They're gone forever. And I bulk deleted 172 videos. Gone. And then I was like, what did I just do? But it turned out good because realistically, our channel actually grew from there. So it took a few days for YouTube to go, what the heck did he just do? To about a week later, then it progressively started getting better and better and better. The phone started ringing again, and then it went from there.
Yeah. Kate has a couple questions in here. One I understand, one I don't. Kate, I'll let you ask that question. She's asking if you take a video has been public and you move it to private for a little while and then move it back to public, does YouTube see that as a new video?
It does not.
No.
No.
Okay. I didn't think so. And Kate, what's your second question here? I wasn't sure what you were asking. Can you ask that?
So I know there's monetization that can go on in YouTube, and if you're talking about this later, I can wait for that. But when do you know it's time to try to get ads for your channel? And is there like an application process to YouTube to make that happen? How does that look?
Yeah, good question. So to be monetized, I mean, again, I didn't start this channel for that. I started the channel for the phone to ring for real estate, but it is a byproduct, So now after you do 4,000 watch hours and you have 1,000 subscribers, then you can become monetized. And yeah, it's a simple little application you fill out. You have to put in a bank account number and all that so they can send you I think you have to fill out like a 1099 form or whatever, so they'll send it to you. I guess if you were like a Mr. Beast, and you had 380 million subscribers and you were making $25 million a month off of YouTube, that's a different story. But for us, I really didn't care either way. But it's a happy byproduct. Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, if you're gonna give me free money, just give me free money. I don't care. But yeah, it's a very short little thing. They'll let you know when you hit it, so it's 4,000, I think it's 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers, and then you become monetized. And I saw a crazy statistic the other day that only less than 5% of all creators across YouTube ever hit 1,000 subscribers. How crazy is that? With all the millions of content creators out there, less than 5% ever get monetized, which is crazy.
Wow.
I want to come back to Kate's first question briefly. Kate, if you have a video that you like and you moved it to private and then you moved it back to public, I'm assuming you like it, right? Is that true?
Correct.
So really all you need to do is add the SEO and add tags to it so YouTube starts seeing it for what it really is. If you've just thrown a video out there and you don't have views, you just need to go back in the back end and do the SEO. That you can do after the fact, and that video should start to take off. There's no new advantage necessarily in that particular case, unless you wanted to just re-record it and put it out there new. Andy, you tell me, is there an advantage to re-recording it and doing a quote unquote new video versus just optimizing it properly so it gets seen?
Not necessarily. It really depends on the video. I mean, like if the video is all over the place and you're talking about 2 or 3 different subjects within that video, if you're going all over the place, then there might be a need to redo it. But for the most part, your answer was correct. I mean, I wouldn't, as long as you tag it right and then it can get out there. Now, we'll tell you this, we've been running an experiment without knowing we were running an experiment. Aileen has a company, and I know she don't care that I talk about this, but she has a company that she pays where she goes out and they do all of her advertising. So they go all across social media. She signed up for this before we got the YouTube channel, by the way. So she has been doing this for 2 years now, but she'll put the same exact video with them that she does with us on the YouTube channel. That video that she puts out may in a month's time, it might get 2 views, two across all of her platforms. So only 2 people see it. We take the same video, put it on YouTube, and then turn around and it gets 1,000 views. So, it's like, it's just the way that video was set up, the way it's tagged, the whole 9 yards, so, and Tim, you actually have a story on that too,
Yeah, I was just going to say that, a plug for Andy, and I've been obviously through all of his training. Well, probably not all of it because he's added a ton. But anyway, long story short, I was doing things a certain way, and Andy said, "No, tweak this, tweak that, go out and do this." I went out and recorded a video. I said, "Man, this isn't going to work. It's so similar to what I've been doing." But he said, "Let me do the SEO and add the tags to it and so forth, instead of the editing company that I was using." He said, "I guarantee you your phone's going to ring." I'm like, "No, it's not. My phone hasn't rang yet when I've started my channel." And, I was 6 or 7 months in, like Andy said, but my phone rang that day on that video, the day I posted it after Andy did the SEO and the tagging behind it, that the other company wasn't doing quite as well. So lots of little tidbits in this training that he's got a handle on this.
Andy,
So,
is that what do you use TubeBuddy for, like, to help with that, the SEO stuff and all that? Is that?
I use I go 3 different routes on that. I use TubeBuddy. I also use vidIQ for some of the stuff, but then I also use ChatGPT. So, I use ChatGPT for almost everything. Like if I'm I already have an idea about a video that, whether it's going to be a good video or not, a neighborhood. So, and the old saying of just put the videos out there, just do a video just to be doing a video. You don't really want to do that, because if you're just doing a video just to be doing a video, then you're wasting your time. Nobody's going to see it, so the point of it is to make that video searchable and make it something about something that people are searching for, so there's ways to do research within TubeBuddy, ChatGPT, vidIQ, some of the ones we use, to where you can find out what people are searching for, so then you take that topic, and and like I said earlier, don't reinvent the wheel. There's ways you can go out there and see what's trending, especially in the real estate market, and you can say, like tiny homes. Tiny homes are big right now. And we just recently did a video on a tiny home village that Aileen goes out and shoots the video. And when I saw it, I didn't even know she was going out to do the video, but when she sent it to me, I was like, "Oh my God, this is fixing to blow up." And I kid you not, within the first week, that thing got like 1,000 views, or in the first couple of hours, it got like 1,000 views. And it was just popping off, and the phone was ringing, and there's all these different comments. People are going crazy over it. "Oh my God, I love it. I love it. I love it." And they're just, it was a hotel that they just converted and sold the rooms. But it was crazy how people were just going nuts about it, because the price point, number one, the price point was kind of low, but also the fact that we called it a tiny home. It wasn't, it's a hotel, but we called it a tiny home, and everybody in the world jumped on it. I wanted to put I put our calendar link in here as well into the chat. So if anybody wants to talk about this after we're off of here, discuss, the payment or whatever, blah, 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 or if you want to talk about it to see if it's even a fit for you, then I put the calendar link, and you can just jump on our calendar, talk to me, Tim, or Aileen, or all 3 of us if you want to.
I'm going to share my screen. This is a cool little utility, guys and gals. I've used this a couple of times before. It's called Wheel of Names. You can go to wheelofnames.com, do your own drawings. You can do little Facebook things, but I've plugged everybody's name here over in the side. I've sorted it alphabetically. So if y'all just want to look at that real quickly, make sure you see your name. I just checked it a minute ago, and I'm pretty certain I've got everybody. So unless you don't see your name, speak now or forever hold your peace. It's alphabetically right now. I'm going to shuffle it before I spin the wheel. Shuffle, shuffle. They're all mixed up. Here we go.
$5,900. This is a good little giveaway, right?
We need a drum roll.
Oh,
And he just left.
Brian Decker. Did Toy leave?
Yeah, he put, I gotta run. Thank
He
you.
was here the whole time. I think
He was. Yeah.
he stuck around. So Brian Decker, you were so close. Brian just threw his hands in the air. Brian's going to jump off a building today. No. Wow, that's awesome.
Did Toy actually leave?
He did, but he was here the whole time.
He was here the whole time.
He was.
here.
I saw him.
Well, I love the fact. I mean, you took multiple programs and you really, and then you've built it from the ground up. I mean, and to put that into a training, what you've learned and what you've done, I just think it's awesome. Let's, Brett, you had your hand raised once again. We'll get to these last questions, guys. If you do need to take off, if you can stick around, stick around. But if you need to take off, have a great day.
Hey, Andy, on the SEO part, is that something that what's the time frame that it takes for somebody to get to where they're self-operational and can really do that with some competency on their own channel and not have to continue to rely on somebody like yourself?
You mean as far as adding in making sure that they're tagged right and the SEO search and all that kind of good stuff, getting comfortable doing it on your own? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I mean, it's the program shows you exactly how to do it, so you can.
Okay, so by the end of the training, basically, we should be.
It's so simple. It's literally it's step by step, and to be quite honest with you, most of it is copy and paste. It's like because I've gone out and done all the prompts for ChatGPT, which is one of the biggest things we use. And not just that, but with everything in there, it's literally like a plug and play, so all the setup on the channel, the SEO setup and all that kind of good stuff. We've researched and found the keywords that actually work that will make it searchable, so, like the certain keywords like moving to, relocating to, things of that nature. So once you get, the whole channel set up right, it's basically you're putting it on autopilot, and it runs on its own. And the biggest thing you have to do from that point is doing the videos, getting in front of the camera. That's the one thing we can't do for you, and this thing will work as long as you work. It's like everything else, so I mean, it's not a magic wand. You're not going to be able to just buy the program and then never open it and have success. You've really got to put in the work. And quite frankly, to be honest with you, it is a little bit of work. It can be tasking, but we've made it so simple that it's just a step by step by step. If you just pull it up and follow the steps, there's literally, if you do it, there's no way you can fail at it. I mean, there's just no way.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Several people have asked about time commitment, which I think I'm just going to guess right now, like on a weekly basis. I think like anything, it gets easier and easier the more you do it. The first video is going to take a while because it's just you're trying to figure it all out and you're reshooting it and you're all this kind of stuff. But then you just get better and better and better. And now you can do it. Like it's, I know that's how it is for you, Andy, right? I mean, it just.
Yeah, well, we've had this discussion before, but it's like the very first video we ever did absolutely was horrible. It was terrible. And it took me about 14 hours to edit that video and get it up on YouTube. Now I can go out, I can film or let's just say I don't go out and film it. Let's say Aileen does a video, she sends it to me. She'll upload it into Google Drive. I'll get it, download it, I put it in. I will add a little flair to it, because I may find some B-roll stuff I want to add to it or whatever. And then I'll go out and create, there's all kind of things that go with it. But the point is once I actually sit down to edit that video and put it up on the channel with everything that has to be done on it, I can do it all now in about 30 minutes, maybe 45 minutes, where it was taking me 14, 15 hours, so it's like, I've come to the point where I've perfected it to that aspect of it. But I also realized one thing I did realize is that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be completely polished because people want to see the real you. That's what they want to see. They don't want to see the guy in the suit and tie, that's on the video saying, please call me for your real estate needs. Whenever that's not who they're going to see when they come see me in real person. When they come see me, they're going to see the t-shirt Andy with the flip-flops on, and that's it. That's what you get. Well, that's what you're going to see on the video, because quite frankly, that's who I am. So, and that's what people like. And I can't tell you, Jeff, how many times we've had people call us and go, I called you because you don't seem like a stuffy realtor. You seem like somebody I could go sit down and have a beer with. And used to I would be, but I don't drink anymore. But but anyway, but yeah, absolutely. If you want to go sit down, I'll have a Diet Coke. We'll sit and talk about anything you want to talk about. But but
I
that's
remember that when we were in Dallas a year and a half ago, and literally, he had a call. I think while we were down there, I feel like you and I could be drinking buddies, and it was like a cold call, but they had watched your YouTube videos for 4 or 5 months or something, and now they're ready to buy a house. That was $1 million buyer. I remember that. We were down there. That was crazy. So let's see. And Sherry's asking how much time do you think a newbie might have to spend, given that they have your coaching? How much do you think your coaching would help cut down on that time, just even with the very first couple things? I mean, it's gonna to get it implemented, I'm sure. Like anything.
I'll tell you this much: it's going to cut down on a tremendous amount because originally I had to go through and do all the research. So all the stuff that I've put in there that you copy and paste, I had to go find. So I had to be the guy to go, okay, well, this doesn't work. So let's try this. And then we tried this, and then that didn't work. So, okay, well, let's revamp it and do this. Well, then, that worked. Okay, so when you find the stuff that worked, I actually saved it. And listen, I could show you again, but I have external hard drives that I literally save everything, every single thing we do. I said one day I was going to make a blooper reel because Aileen, gets on me all the time because I save all of her mistakes when she's out filming, and I'm going to put them in a video one day. One of our biggest successful videos just about is where she almost fell off of a pier into the water when she was walking. And I took that video and slowed it down and reversed it and everything else and made it to where when she's walking, she's like, oh my God. But I save everything, every little bitty thing. So it was easy for me when I started to do the research to go back and go, okay, well, this is what actually worked. And so, I made the prompts, for lack of a better word, I made the prompts for the channel to where all you have to do is literally go in. I teach you how to build out a channel, how to make a brand channel. Then once you get it, you copy and paste. And it even shows you in parentheses, the name of your town here, and so all you have to do is go in and delete it and put in the name of your town, and then and boom, there it is. It's all set up. So all the research that I've done is actually, to answer your question, just eliminates all the time you have to spend searching for it. It's right there.
Any other questions, guys? I think we've answered them all over here. You got Tim reposted, how to book and get on their calendar to ask questions and just have a chat with those guys. That's over there again. The links to the videos there. Anything else before we wrap it up?
2 quickies. Yep. I called Toy, and he did want the training, or I was going to spin again. So sorry, guys, but he was here the entire time.
Yeah.
He left right at top of the hour.
Okay.
And those of you that haven't done this, I want you to not fear it. A lot of people, when they think about videos, okay, I'm going to write out this huge couple of paragraphs. I've got to memorize it. Then I got to go get in front of the camera. Just be yourself. And when you screw up, and you will fumble on a word, just start that sentence over again. Don't go all the way back, because editing is a wonderful thing. So just approach this from a mindset standpoint a little bit differently. And if you need a teleprompter, we talk about those tools as well. And there's AI tools that make your eyeballs go toward the camera now. So you literally could get in front of a teleprompter. Don't necessarily recommend it because it's not as genuine as if you're just off the cuff. I call myself one take Timmy, and I'll go out, I'll do something, and I'll rely on Andy to fix it, to make it look good, to make me look good. So just go out and be natural. Just start talking to people. Remember, you're giving value. You're teaching them what it's like to live here. That's what they really want to know about. And that's a lot of what Andy and Aileen are doing on their channel. And what's like living here is doing restaurant reviews too. People love it.
Well, and quite frankly, I've started leaving in all those mistakes. I used to take them out, but the reason I leave them in now is because if you think about this, if you're walking a customer around a condo or a house and you're out there with them and you say, right here's where your refrigerator, and then you go, no, that's the washer and dryer. That's not the refrigerator. But you can't go, I'm going to edit that out in front of your customer. You just say, I didn't mean to say refrigerator, that's a washer and dryer. Well, that's what you say in the video and leave it in because they're wanting to have that feeling like they're in the room with you and you're showing them the property. And that's so I've just started leaving all those mistakes in. Again, Aileen gets mad at me sometimes. She's like, I can't believe you zoomed in that close on my face. Well, that's what you look like. And if a customer's right there with you, they're going to get that close in your face. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Who else has questions for Andy or me or Aileen or?
This was pretty great, guys. I'm glad you guys were able to put it together. We've been hearing about it for a while, so it's exciting. For the average video that you guys do, I know since you're doing long form, you average about how many minutes each one?
We don't, it just really depends. It depends on what your subject is you're talking about. I mean, and I hate to make it sound this way, but for lack of better words, a video is as long as it needs to be, so if like Aileen just did one recently where she was covering new construction on condos on the beach, and these are multi-million-dollar properties. And so, we kind of had the feeling that if you've got somebody who wants to buy a multi-million-dollar property, they want to know every little bitty aspect of that property. I mean, if they're going to come out and spend $3 million on a corner unit condo on the beach, then they're going to want to know every little bitty thing about it. So that's what she did. She made a video that was, I think the video was maybe 40 minutes long or something where, and it was just basically her walking around telling what the builder told her they were going to do. And then one aspect of it was, she said that they got rental projections and she actually told what the rental projections were. And, they vary because it varies on usage by owner. And she put that in the video. So it just really depends on your content. If you've got some of our restaurant videos are not but like maybe 7 or 8 minutes long, somewhere around there. But that's just us going to a restaurant, talking about where this restaurant's located. If there's a neighborhood nearby, we might tell what that neighborhood is or reference that we've done a video in that neighborhood. And then, just talk about, what you had to eat there, whether it was good or not. So it really depends on the content. It really depends on what you're actually shooting. So restaurant videos, I wouldn't make them really long and boring. Anything, you really don't want to make it long and boring. If you've got something to talk about that's interesting, then keep talking about it. I don't care if the video could be 2 hours long. People are going to watch it. If you've got something to tell them and it's interesting and you keep them engaged, they're going to watch it all the way.
Samantha, my favorite video per my subscribers on my sales channel has 9,700 views, and it was 15.5 minutes long. Another favorite, and it reminded me to give you all this tip as well. We have a rock quarry in LaGrange, Kentucky, that people now use as a swimming hole and a practice diving area. And I was on, I think it was Oldham County's Facebook group, and somebody was talking about the quarry, and I said, oh yeah, I've been there. In fact, so I put a link to the video, and that thing blew up after I posted it. So that's why if you're adding value in your videos, you can go on to Facebook groups that don't allow advertising. If I was saying I'm the best realtor in town, they would have, eliminated it. But because it was educational in content, it blew up. So long is not bad. In some cases, the longer the better, but obviously you don't want to get too crazy.
Andy, we're glad you didn't go back to the car business. It's good to have you.
Yeah, me too.
So.
My wife's really glad.
Yeah, I'm sure. So you guys have done awesome with this. I mean, seriously, congratulations on everything. You guys have put a lot of hours and work and everything, especially you, Andy, but also Tim and Aileen. I mean, all you guys working together. And David, I know he can't be here today, but you guys have all poured into this thing. And the payoff for all of you with what you're doing is going to be huge. But for all of us, I mean, the benefits are huge as well. So you're definitely our YouTube guy when it comes to Freedom Team. So we do appreciate it. We appreciate all you guys are doing.